Okay, aloha and welcome, Waikele Ohana and all our guests for another part two of the success of Neighborhood Security Watch and Citizens Patrol, safer communities and how to achieve it. Last month we came on with Officer Alyssa Damlao. She gave a little bit background on the police side of it, but today we want to go over the volunteers and the leadership within the volunteers and our community leaders really go through why it's so successful and why it makes why it's so sustainable. Yeah, we want to make sure that our programs uh, do thrive and grow, and we want to get new people, meet new members coming in, and we just want to make sure that the community understands what we're doing and how we're doing. And today we'll be um, introducing our guests. You guys all know me. I'm the host, Duane Samson, but I've been doing this for a long time, about 35 years. I'm also the Waikele Community Association Safety Director and a founder and CEO of Neighborhood Security Watch Council, which we're just getting off the ground right now, and we'll be taking out more of these
Hey,
exciting new
you look handsome in
webinars.
that picture.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you.
Yes.
And again, I'd like to introduce my mentor, my general of our community, Mr. Ken Mijo. He's a Maui native, and he attended Speckleville School as a youngster, graduated from Maui High School and the University of Hawaii. I guess he met his wife and Amy Mijo, and they purchased their Waikele home in 1994, and both have both been residents here over 30 years. I guess Ken became a member of a neighborhood security watch and citizen patrol in 1997, and he's the most senior person here in Waikele. 27 years of community service. Both
84
of
years,
them,
84 years old.
84 years old. Oh,
I'm 84.
yeah.
Some of you weren't born yet.
Thanks, Ken. Him and his wife, Amy, really is committed and dedicated to the community, and we really appreciate them. They're responsible for a lot of our community cleanups and patrols, monthly patrols within the area. And without them, I think Waikele Association wouldn't be as safe as it is. But we want to really thank them for their dedication. Last year, like uh, Officer Damla couldn't make it today. She was supposed to come here, but she has other patrol of sorts, so she had to get out on the road and patrol. Well, why do communities and residents get involved? Right, most of the time they're victims of a crime. I know right now we're very interested in a certain burglar or why we getting burglarized. Sometimes it gets to neighborhood disputes. Yeah, people don't get along. They get loud parties, and they bully. A prime example of that is what happened in Waianae last week or a couple of weeks ago when. Throughout the years, this guy had a place where he had parties all the time, and then the neighbors had to deal with all the people going in and out from those parties in Waianae. And one thing led to another, and over the years, it just grew and grew and grew, and finally, it just exploded. And the neighbor got his big bulldozer and went and pushed all those cars into the neighbor's house. A long-standing dispute over this, and people died. They lost their lives, and that's really sad because it shouldn't have got to that point. And everybody can blame each other, but I really think that if there's some mediation or cases were made, and everything just added up to this problem. So we want to stop that from happening, and this is why we do these webinars. I really want to make sure that we get to know our neighbors and show ownership, and really don't let it get that big. Don't let it get to people die. I think 4 people died in that. um it's just sad. you know and the others, people get invited to join. I know we're always out there recruiting. um Last night we had a meeting in Sunset Point One, and there were like 10 new families. So I'm excited about that. And we want to get them involved. And most of us will do this because we want to do good for the community, because we live here, we work here, we play here, we want to make it a safe place to be, where you can go walk around like Waikele, yeah. Waikele is a model community, you know. You can still walk around the community and feel safe. Yes, we do have all the crime. We do have homeless coming in. We don't have as much. The graffiti we get out there, paint it out, um, it's showing ownership, and we do citizen patrols, and that's the whole entity, the totality of everything that makes our community the way it is. Yeah. Sustainable programs, neighborhood security watch and citizen patrol is the meat of our foundation of our program, and why it's always thriving here in Waikele, and it's sustainable. We are the eyes and ears for the police department. If we see something, we say something, we call 911, you know, and we really like when we get out there and have meetings, or we get out there and have walks, we want to get to know our neighbors, because if we have good relationships, we're more willing to help each other. Yeah, we're more inclined to know who belongs at the house when they're not home and who doesn't, which cars they have, which cars they don't. A stranger vehicle comes there and parks in the driveway. If you know each other, you're gonna say, "Hey, that's not John's car. That's not Rick's car. We better call him, or call the police." Most of the time when we know each other, we have each other's phone numbers. So,
Yeah, a good
um,
a good question is, do you know your neighbors? You know what I mean?
yes, perfect. And that's why we do this. And Sunset Point One, I think really they have a text thread that they go around, and they get about 30 people involved. And if somebody coming in there, they're texting, and they get the information out quickly. It's real-time information. So every area has its own programs. And then, Ken's just been out there organizing this for over 27 years. And Ken, what do you feel about this? Why is it so successful?
We have nice people here.
Huh?
We have nice people here in Waikele.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, we have great leadership like you, yeah. You and Amy, you guys are great leaders too, yeah.
Yeah, we started our walk way back in 96, Uh,
19.
yeah, this couple in Sunset Point too, while they were at work, the house was burglarized. That was Gary and Gio Kosaki, and they were the first one to start the neighborhood security patrol. And at the beginning, oh, I had about 4,000 people signed up. They come out with flashlights and go around the parks with the
That's-
flashlight, combing the mid-street of parking lot, not parking lot, but the park. That was
Yeah.
taking a while, but they didn't last very long. The number became smaller and smaller, and then Gary and Jill, they moved out after a couple of years to a family home. So Clyde Aruno, my neighbor, took over for a short while, and then baby Jessica came along, so they couldn't handle. So I the job was left up to me since that time.
Well, you're doing a great job at it, Ken. You and Amy. I really, my hats off to you guys for over these years. And what you talked about, there's like 4 dozen people when it starts out because a crime occurred. And that's really why people get involved. They could become victims of a crime and they get excited.
Yeah,
Um, we see that in Sunset Point One right now. Somebody got burglarized in Sunset Point Two. They see the guy coming out of someplace, walking down the road with long sleeve shirt on and plastic latex gloves on, and he's walking down the road like he just came out of a house. And we know this person supposedly resembles a certain guy that we know has burglarized our homes, and we have videos of this guy of going into houses but not in the house, and never been caught yet. So with that said, um, right now they're all excited, got new people coming out. But when we talk about community policing and reaching a place of wellness, I really don't like that word wellness, because when we get into that place of wellness, the participation really goes down, and the numbers fall, like you said. And just because crime is not happening or not going on at the time, we still need to be vigilant and get out there and patrol and be proactive. And that's what we do when we do our walks weekly, right, Ken?
Yes.
So I really feel that that's the key to our success here. And like you said, it started out with 44 dozen people, but after the years go on and crime doesn't occur, it just goes down and down and down because people are feeling safe again in their homes. Yeah.
Yeah, after a few years, we were down to about 7 or 8 people, but they would come out week after week after week. We did not use cell phone. We did not use telephone. We did not use email. Okay, next walk is next week, 8 o'clock. Everybody show up the following week, 8 o'clock, and went on for months and months. And finally, it began to grow. The group began to grow. It
Yeah,
was,
and we see that all the time. Even like now, your group you have a core of maybe 12. Sometimes it grows larger if people have some time. And I know we're all busy working, and we have our busy schedules. But even if you can't come out and walk, even if you just want to sit down in a yard in the evening, for an hour, eat dinner outside, and whatever it is, if you just want to hang out together on the corner, like on Gulf Club Estates, Sunset Point 1 and 2, prime example of a great thing to do if you want to bring your chair out. There's only one way in and one way out of the subdivisions. So if you sit in on the corner going in, you're going to see everybody that's going in and out of the community and who belongs and who doesn't. And if you guys do that, and really just spend an hour or something. Maybe one person and their family want to eat outside for an hour between 6 and 5, or 5 and 6. The next family they get home 6 and 7, So if we do keep continuously do that, we have the capability of having the eyes and ears out there throughout the evening. And this person who is burglarizing our place likes to come out and go to work, I like to say, and burglarize our houses between the hours of 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. There's a 4 hour span, and he chooses to do it in that time. So, and that's why we choose, and the general Ken, he's so uh, smart and Akamai about that, because he likes to change the times. 7:30 this week, 8 o'clock next time, 6:30 next. So we're not predictable in what we do, and that's what the program is. And yeah, Ken, what about that? How you feel about that?
there's a
I,
reason why we're still alive. We changed the time. We changed the date. I mean, the day would be Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, not yet. But
yeah, and that doesn't stop us from doing it Saturday or Sundays. I
but
gotta go
on
church. I gotta go church Sunday, so I gotta make sure I go church. I gotta give all the thanks and praises on Sunday.
but on Saturdays, once a year, we have a Saturday morning walk with a lunch to follow. I mentioned this
Oh,
to you, and you said from now
oh,
on you're gonna provide the lunch, right?
Amy, I
You
mean,
remember that?
yeah, we got to talk to the board of directors. We got to talk to Mary about that one. Whenever the community comes out and wants to get together. Uh,
Yeah, I have it here, my notes. Saturday morning walk. Duane will provide lunch. It's in
I
black and white, Duane.
Okay, it's in black and white. We'll we'll make sure we get that on the next board meeting,
Oh, I'm
because
sorry, I was
I'm gonna
using,
say the general said that we need to provide lunch because we're
oh,
gonna
yeah,
do
I
that.
was using a pen with a blue ink, so it's blue and white.
The ink, blue ink. Well,
And
what is the neighborhood security watch? Yeah, what is the program? And what is a citizen patrol? You know, the neighborhood security watch is really just eyes and ears, being proactive, problem solving. You know, a group of people taking ownership. Uh, if we getting to know one another. Yeah, we always talk about that being the eyes and ears for the police. You know, if you see something, say something. You know, and that's really what we want to do. Uh, Here in Waikele, when I first came here, I was part of the bike um, safety team, the CST team with Malcolm brought me in. And I was amazed that we had an e-bike patrol. And I was so proud to be a part of that because um, when I was in the police department, I was one of the first officers that were able to ride the quads on Waikiki Beach. And that was a pilot program, and that was a successful program, just like our e-bike program. You know, I don't see any other planned community having this. So I think we're ahead of the game with that. You know, even our mobile patrols, you know, we don't have much of them. I know we had a couple. God bless Gil. He passed away, but he was really the guy that came out and with Ehu girl, the dog, and patrolled in their truck when we were walking out there. So we want to we want to get more involvement in that. If you can't get out there and walk, then let me know and we'll get you riding around. And we'll get you the magnetic signs and put it on the side of the car and give you a flashing light for the top of your car. You know, we did talk about getting gas cards for that, and we still are capable of doing it, but we just need to make sure that we monitor that. Yeah. You know, and when we get out there, there is a uniform. If you're part of the Citizen Patrol, it says Citizens Patrol right in, you know, bright yellow shirt, Citizen Patrol. We wear it to identify us. We also have jackets. Ken has all the the swag or the logo shirts. He has every type of shirt that you can think of that we had throughout the years. Yeah. At night when we get out there, we wear traffic vests. We have flashlights. We have blinking lights, the blue lights, and we want to make sure that we're non-confrontational. Um, we don't want nobody to get hurt out there. We just want to be the eyes and ears. If we want to stay and watch from a distance, we don't want to get up into someone's face and really tell them, "Hey, what you doing in our neighborhood?" Yeah, I know our uh, small kid time, you know, we could do those kind of things, but you know, in today's times, it's a different time. Yeah, um, so we really want to make sure that we're non-confrontational. Yeah, so that's you know, just a little bit of our patrols here. Um, I see that was our last mass walk. You see the picture, Ken, on the
Yeah,
top right? That's a mass walk when was that? 2017 or something like that?
yeah, it's a,
That was a while ago, huh?
it's a while. You see, in a bright T-shirt, there's the
Kajahiro.
yeah, deputy police chief.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
David Kajahiro, yeah.
yeah.
I believe they sold their house already. They don't live in Waikele
Oh,
anymore. Yeah. But even the Sergeant Paiva there, he's next to Dave. He's at training right now. He's moved on, transferred out of the district, and he's no longer in charge of community policing. But he's also in the trap. He's in training, so he's been doing a lot of training with the new officers.
I
But
heard
you can see, yeah,
I heard Officer Makanani is coming back to
to
our,
Waikele.
yeah,
Well, I hope he does. I mean, he was a great asset to us. Yeah. Right now, the only community policing team members from the police department, we only got the two officers, Chris and Alyssa. Yeah. So they're really running thin. But anyway, you know, our success is actually in our organized walks. You can see some nights we come out there, we got big gang. It depends if people are traveling, they have time to come out. But it is a good core. We have, you know, most of the time we get out there, we have a few walks, a few members. Um, and hey, welcome, Alyssa. We just was mentioning you. But yeah, so um our key and our main component is our citizen patrol. And Ken, you've done this for 27 years right now. And what's your take on the citizen patrol and the foundation that we have with that?
Well, and we're also kind of greedy too because most places have one team, representing just one neighborhood. But our group represents Sunset Point 1, Sunset Point 2, Golf Club Estates, Ho'omaka, and Ho'omalu, the two townhome residential units. So we cover five instead of just one.
Yeah, and you even have Glenn and Kim.
Yeah.
They've come from all the way from tropics and come and walk with you
Yeah,
folks.
yeah. And
That's
who,
that's that's awesome, and
yeah.
that's the key.
And
We
some
we
people
want to
from
make.
Sunset Point 1 has joined us too, like Keith and Dawn.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's exciting to see, and that's one of the goals that I really want to see, is that our neighborhoods in different areas do get to know each other. So when you see each other down at Safeway store, you remember each other on $5 Fridays, right? Okay, moving on. This is our mobile patrol, Mister Francis. He's been busy taking care of his wife, so he can't come out anymore at night. But he always supports us in spirit. So um, this program came about when I was working out in Waimanalo. The Waimanalo back roads, the agriculture farms were getting burglarized, and things are getting stolen. So we came up with this idea of mobile patrol, because we back then we had CB walkie talkies. Yeah, everybody had the CB radios, and that's how we communicated, because we never had cell phones back then. Oh. And it really was successful. Um, we had about 20 cars patrolling, all through the night in Wamanala back roads, and the crime just dropped. And you know, everybody's auntie and uncles or grandfathers was patrolling, and they knew everybody. And one thing in Wamanala, everybody knows each other. So when all the tutus know, and they see the youngsters who was probably doing the crime, they say, "Hey, what are you guys doing? Get home," So that in itself helps, yeah. But great program here in Waikele. I really, really want to see it flourish, because this provides you a lot of mobility to get around and patrol the whole Waikele, instead of from one side, from Cam Highway all the way down to Managers Drive. And if you're not from Waikele, we do have 21 sub communities in Waikele. We have 2,737 units that is a part of Waikele. So we have a great big community here. Not to mention the big shopping mall that entices the international tourism and national tourism that comes here because of the outlet stores. When we do have outlet stores, it's like shopping for the bad guys too, yeah, because they come and look and then prey upon the weak. So um, we've been pretty good out there, partnershiping with the police department, and that's key to our success too. We talked about the bike patrol. Hats off to Malcolm. Malcolm, you on? Are you out there, Malcolm? Well, if he was, I wanted him to talk a little bit about it. But high visibility. When you're patrolling in a vehicle, you really don't have the capabilities of stopping and talking to people. And this is like no walls around you. So if somebody wants to stop and talk to you, they're gonna flag you down, and you're gonna be right there talking to them. You know. And the e-bike is really quick and it's silent, and that's why some of the burglars were using it to get to and from houses. Um, I really like this idea, and I would say when we were riding out there with Malcolm, I always say I love my job because we're riding these bikes. But it's a great program. I think we need to get out there more. Yeah, Ken, you always tell me when you guys walk riding. I don't see you anymore as much. Yeah, Ken.
Yeah.
I always gotta pass by and wave at your camera at you. Why is it and how is safe community achievable? I just tell you, it's volunteers. It's volunteers, just like all these volunteers. Look at this. This is our last cleanup that we did. We got high school volunteers. We partnered with the Waipahu High School. The students came out and partnered with us. And Ken and his green team shirts out there and the hats. That's why we're so successful is that we have a great group of volunteers and we have great support from the board of directors and also the other communities um, really coming out. I think the last other big program was successful was Earth Day, and we did the Earth Day tree planting, and that was neat because we partnered with the Rush School Academy at that time.
How the trees are doing? Okay.
The trees are doing excellent. And community projects with the schools. Yeah, we talked about the top one is there. That's Waipahu High School. That's my daughter and her crew from that Avid class that they have. They get out in the community and do. This one was at Waipahu Stream. They were cleaning. The other ones is Rush Academy. What we want to do is create opportunities for mentorship. Because if we don't teach the next generation, who's going to know how to do what we do or volunteer and make it, responsible citizens? We need to set the path for the next generation and mentor. Because when I was growing up, my tutus mentored me, and I learned throughout the years that, volunteer. I used to be a candy striper at Castle Hospital. You guys don't
Wow.
know that about me. You guys, the old people know what his candy stripe was.
Yeah.
I was the only guy wearing the candy striper shirt.
I didn't know boys were candy stripers.
That's the only name they had for us, but I was the first one at Castle Hospital because I lived right down the road from it. And my tutu said, "You better go over there and volunteer." And here I am today. You know, I became the next citizens, responsible citizens. And I cannot stress enough that we need to teach the next generation. They need to be taught. We cannot be just scolding our kids and tell them, good, good, this, you don't do that. We need to take them by the hand and teach them and mentor them and make them understand what we do. We take it for granted that the kids know everything because all they got to do is YouTube everything and they know everything. But it doesn't help if the parent doesn't do it or the tutus or the village. We need to physically speak to them, show them how, and do it in front of them and having that interaction, not just watching YouTube one way. That doesn't teach nothing. It shows you how to do it, but you don't have that relationship with the child, that mentoring, yeah. So that's why in Waikele, that's what we're doing. We want to create a mentorship program, and we're very successful with it. Part of our success is these webinars that we're doing. We did a few already. We're doing personal safety, and then how to fortify your home. We want to do continuous education and training for our community. And we do this every month, every first Wednesday of the month. We have our monthly evening at 6 p.m. every first Wednesday, right here in our learning center. We have our guest speakers come. I believe the next one is going to be Pam Foster from AED Institute of Hawaii. They teach us how to do CPR. I was a student, and I'm now a trainer. CPR, AED. They get into the overdose, choking, first aid. And we do that here for the community for free every fourth Thursday of the month. Our next class is the 27th, I believe, or the 26th. I have a flyer in here, but it's going to be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And if you need the American Heart Association card, we do give that to you. If you need that, it's $30. If you don't want it and you just want information, it's free. Our next walk, this is one of Ken's idea. We wanted to do a mass walk or a mass patrol. So we're gonna do it, the Citizens Patrol, Code 21. 21 stands for the 21 sub-communities in our community. So Code 21, we want to make sure that all our communities, our 21 communities, are gonna be patrolled and walked, or just sit outside your home on Wednesday at 7 p.m. And you can join the mass walk if you want at the Waikele Park, or in memory of Darrell T. Young. We're gonna meet there, and, it's everybody to the different areas. I believe Ken is gonna stay in his area. Ken,
Right. Yeah.
you guys gonna stay in your area, Ken?
Yeah, and everyone is invited, you know.
And this is Ken's idea. He came up to me a couple of weeks ago. Hey, we need to do another mass walk. And Ken has this good ideas, and he knows what worked and what didn't work throughout the years. And this is something that we need to do as a community, as a whole community, really get out there as a whole unit, and really get out there and watch our community. So on the 25th, Wednesday, 7 p.m., if you want to walk, we'll meet at the park. We're gonna walk around the big loop. I believe we'll start at the park and go down past the outlet, go up Paiva and come around Umiao and back to the park. And if not, you can, I think Ricky's group down on Lumiaina, closer to Manager Park View, Mahiko, that area is gonna stay on that side. And then Ken's area, or that zone one. I'm gonna call it zone one, and we're gonna break up our community into zones. I'm gonna come out with that coming out real shortly. But everybody can just stay in their subdivision and patrol that night for at least an hour, or in that area. And if we want to get involved, I have free shirts. I have shirts for everybody. Just email me, call me on my cell phone on the flyer. You can see right there. That's my contact. And we want to. It's been a year now since we lost our president, Darrell Young, to a cardiac arrest, and that's one of the reasons why we want to make sure that everybody in the community knows how to do CPR, because if something happens, we can react quickly and save somebody's life. Okay.
Remember, there's another one that we were thinking of doing later on. Another mass walk. Remember?
Which one is that? The one at Chinatown?
Chinatown. What do you think? Is it doable?
Yeah. I'm sure it's doable, Ken. Anything is doable when you're the champion of it, I just come over there and help you, give you the tools and resources. So Ken brought another issue up with us, not an issue, but a mass walk. And he wanted to say that Waikele community is going to join up with the downtown Citizen Patrol area and District 1, and see if we can go out there and patrol, maybe on a morning or a weekend or something like that. Want to organize with them and go help them patrol down there. So I think that one is going to be going to take a little bit more planning, and everything is achievable. We just need the people to come out and do it. So we'll put a flyer out for that one. And we'll get transportation to get out there. I think everybody can carpool. I have a van, and I think everybody can carpool out there. So we'll set that one up, Ken. Thanks for bringing that one up and reminding me about it. We get, that's why I like to pick Ken's brain, because there's a lot of great ideas, like that Saturday morning walk through and lunch after. We want to bring back the lunch with the law. We used to be doing the lunch with the law here in the learning center here at Waikele. We used to bring the major out from the district, and that you guys have that capability of talking to the major, the district commander, and your concerns, and have lunch with them, and really get to know each other. and even have the other officers who are on duty here come out and meet each other. So that's the other part too. We want to get the community involved, but we need the police department to buy into the concept also. Yeah, this program came from the police department. It's through the police department. So when we're out there patrolling, we're gonna request that we have the beat officers drive through while we're out there patrolling. You know, they're so busy on third watch. A lot of times there are only 5 officers in one area. So the whole Waipahu is Waipio, Waikele, Lower Waipahu, and Kunia, and the freeway. So in that big area, there's only 5 officers that take care of the area. And if there's an accident on the freeway, 2 people got to go to that, at least 2 people, sometimes 3. Is there a domestic violence case someplace else? You're gonna send 2 officers because you can't send just one because of officer safety. So there you go. You got 5 people on cases at one time. And sometimes, when something else happens, the other sector comes from Pro City to come in our Waipahu area and help, and vice versa. So that's how a little bit of what's going on with the police department. But we want to ask them also to get involved and really come out and support us, because we buying into the program, and we want the police department to buy in also. What do you feel about that, Ken?
Yeah, good idea. Another thing is, I think we should recommend body shield, especially when you go and knock on someone's stranger's door. You don't know what's on the other side of the door.
For the police officers.
Police, I'm talking
Oh,
about
for
the
the
police,
yeah.
yeah,
No,
the police officers.
so every district, they do have those shields in their arsenal, or in their station. They do have those shields. But most of the time, when you get a basic call, you can just go to a basic service call and be ambushed. Look at that the 2 officers that passed away a couple of years ago, when they went to the man's house. They knew him in Diamond Head, right? Remember, he came out and shot the 2 officers when they responded, and they were always going to his house to handle different disputes with the neighbors and stuff like that. So this one day when they came on a basic call, they thought everything was the same, but it wasn't, and they got ambushed by him. So great, great. I understand that, Ken. And they do have that the shield in that station. But to carry it around with them, I don't think they're gonna do it. When the SWAT team goes and knocks on the door, they have that shield up with them. But that's all I have on the walk, and we're gonna get involved in more stuff. So look for the emails. If you don't have the email, if we don't have your email, give us your email our office, and we'll get you information out. Emergency alerts, the schedules, and everything else that we do in the community for you folks, the community members, and it's free. Okay, this next class is the 26th. There's a contact. Let me know if you guys want to get involved. I can teach keikis too, teenagers, family members. If you got a church group or a group that wants to do it together, or your whole subdivision, we can do it up to 12 people right here. Okay, so let me know, hit me up, and we can do that for you. So this is just our community partnerships that we have. Rush Academy, I told you, Rush Education, Waipahu, Waikele Elementary School. We did a great sign waving the other week, back to school. The officers came out. I think we had like 50 people out there with the students also. So that was a great partnership with Sheldon Oshiro, the principal. They have a great school in our community. Back in 2022, we're the #1 community in Oahu, and it was based on 3 factors: was your school, how beautiful your community is, and how safe your community is. So that's the 3 criteria that we were part of that #1 community in 2022. KOHN did the survey, I believe. But we partner with the state attorney generals, the police department, um, private and public organizations, elected officials, AD Institute. So anybody that wants to partner with us to make our community better, we're going to partner with them. And if we can help other communities get better, like Ken says, we will help other communities because if they want to come in and learn what we know here and they want to do it in their community, by all means, we want to help you get safe, just like Waikele community. So, just to end, Ken, you want to end? You want to add anything, Ken?
I remember what you said one time, not too long ago, about some kind of appreciation dinner for the volunteers.
Yeah, so coming up in I think December, we're gonna have it the first Wednesday of the month. We have our Christmas volunteer event. I know in the past they did a massive event at the Okinawan Center. Yeah, you guys used to go. We're looking at doing that again, but we got to plan that, put it in the next budget for next year. We are looking at putting something like that together in the budget for next year. So we will be looking at doing that again, but a smaller version is that for NSW and Citizen Patrol members, volunteers and away volunteers. Um, we're gonna do it the first week of December. Okay. Any questions out there? Any concerns that we guys want to ask?
No, I'm done.
Anybody?
How was Fairway Village, their first,
Blood, the blood drive.
yeah, the blood drive, and it was like a fair, right? Or
Yeah, so Fairway Village, Dr. Lou, they put on a first annual community fair. Is this is a way to build a community involvement. I think it was a success, you know. It was from 10 to 2. They had the blood bank there. And I know the blood bank went beyond what they wanted to get. Dr. Lou first surpassed what he wanted to get. There's entertainment, Jeff Rasmussen. There's all the elected officials. There's all kind of partners that came out as vendors, gave away a lot of prizes. And I just think that it was a great event. The fire department came out, the police department. And I think for the first event, it started off slow, but it ended with a bang. So I think they're going to do it annually. I know Dr. Lou was very happy with it. And you
there
know,
was
my
a
hat's off.
picture. There was a picture of Dr. Lu and Christine Kemp in midweek.
Oh yeah, I didn't get to see it. Was it this week's one?
Yeah, this week's.
Okay, so I gotta go look at that. I
The
didn't read it yet.
yeah. Anyway, it was in there.
The the voice, was it in the voice
Yeah, it
part?
might be in the voice.
Yeah. Oh, awesome, awesome. So thank you, Amy, for bringing that, and thank you, Amy, and you know, behind every great man, there's a greater woman, and thank you, Amy, for being that greater person to to support Ken and all his crazy ideas that we have to make our community better. And I thank you again, Mary and Kim, for coming out, and everybody else who joined us. I want to thank our Kristen in our office. She's always going on and getting our Zoom thing together. And without her, we wouldn't be successful. Our general manager, Malcolm Ching, and our leaders out there in our community, our board of directors, our president, John Kinder, all the support that we get from him. I do, I want to just say this. I have a lot of questions from the community if we're gonna buy our building or not buy it. Right now, it doesn't look like we're gonna buy it. I know in the newsletter it's gonna come out. Our president made a did an article for you folks to read, so it has all the information in there. It was a great idea to get it, but after looking further into it, the board decided it wasn't a great idea. So with that said, I leave it at that. We are gonna be looking for another home, but for now, we're just gonna stay here and rent this building, and I still call it home. Okay, so with that, if there's no questions, no other concerns, Ken. I really thank you for and Amy for being our guest and taking part in our webinar. Um, I really want to thank our community and all the volunteers. Thank you. and mahalo, and stay safe. And we'll have a great community in Waikele. Mahalo. And
Thank you, Duane.
Bye.
Thank you, Duane.